Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hudifa and I am in the first year of the University of Birmingham. In this video we are going to see how we can save the images into your computer. So we saw that we can take the Sudoku grid, turn it into a grayscale, then into a binary image. Then last time we learned how to crop an image, and now we are going to save those images in your computer. So if you are ready, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and let's get started. So here we are, we have the notebook in front of us, and this time it will not be the same notebook as last time, but in fact I just duplicated it because one will be using for the prediction and the other one, the one we are here right now, is using for the image saving. So now let's going through this. So actually I didn't change much except in this one. So we remember how to turn an image into a binary one. We know how to display it, and then we saw that's code that's in comment for now. Then we saw that code. Now I just comment this code because we are be using this new definition. So we are going to have a look at it. Pick image is in fact a function that actually saves the images into your computer. First of all, let's look at this two-dimensional array. So what is exactly a two-dimensional array? Well, in fact, it is an array where the elements are themselves arrays, and then they can contain strings. For example, here we have digits. So what do I mean by this array? Well, it's in fact this Sudoku grid. I just have to create a new two-dimensional array with 9 array which contains 9 numbers. So we get 9 by 9 multi-dimensional array. So the 0, I know a 0 doesn't exist in Sudoku, but we use them to define empty cells, like you see in here. And we got the numbers. So make sure it is exactly the same as your Sudoku grid that you have on paper. So now let's go back to the pick image. So first we need a data drop. A data drop is the folder where you just drop your images. So here, to make it simple, I just use a C colon, then a folder called images. So just a quick reminder, this is for Windows of defining a path. If you are using a Mac, it will be a single backslash instead of a forward one, and users, backslash, your name of the computer, backslash, and desktop if your folder is on desktop, then the name of the folder. But here in Windows, I just put in the C, not in my desktop, because it will be simpler. And we use, in Windows, we use double forward slash. So I'm going to show you the path later. So we got an array, list num, which is the list of 10 numbers. Then we got this two-dimensional loop, like the one we did last time. I will explain in detail why we have 1 to 9 and here 0 to 9. So if the grid I and G, so the current position, because we are going line by lines for each cell, and if the actual cell is not in the list num, the array we just created here, well, it will print it and add it to the list. I will explain later why we need only one letter at a time, not many of them. So you got the big J and big I, which are respectively little j plus 1 and little I plus 1. Then we got the cell, as before. We use the image. So this, remember, is the parameter of the definition. Then we crop it. So if the I is in 0 and J is in 0, the big J and the big I will be at 1, which makes completely sense. So we're going to see through the details because I know it's very confusing with these two lines. But let me first show you this line where we don't have the crop value. So we got the cell is equal to image, so we are copying it. In this line, we can see that the I times 100 minus 100, I times 100. Just put the space here. Well, actually, what do I mean by that? If the little I is at 0, the big I will be at 1. So 1 times 100 will be 100. So if we do minus 100, will be at 0. If now this one, if big I is 1, we will have 100. So we got 0, 100, which is completely fine. 0 to 100. We are cropping the x-axis from 0 to 100. So you might think, what happens if little I or little j comes to 9? So we are going to see that. So if the little I is 9, the big I will be at 10. And let's do the calculation. 10 times 100 will be 1000, minus 100 will be 900, and then we have 10 times 100, which is 1000. In fact, we are just running the code like this because when we're telling Python to crop an image that is 900 pixel by 900 pixel, and we're asking Python that we crop it to 900 to 1000. Do you think that's possible? No, of course, but luckily it doesn't crash, it doesn't have a compiler error, so it just ignores this step and carry on. So I hope that was clear. And here it's just the same thing. I just add the crop value. The crop value is to crop the image a little bit more to get rid of the contours. Then you might see this. The cell equals to CV2 resize cell, the cell by itself, to 100 pixel by 100 pixel. Because do you remember when we first cropped the image, we got 100 pixel by 100 pixel because the Sudoku grid was 900 pixel by 900 pixel. So if we divide it by 9, we will get 100 pixel by 100 pixel. But here we are cropping we are just cropping a little bit more by 20. It is here, crop value equals to 20. So the images are not 100 by 100 pixel. They will be 80 pixel by 80 pixel. So you may resize it to keep the format of the image, but the problem is when you try to resize a small image to get a bigger one, it will get a little bit blurry. So it will not be binary anymore, because when it's blur, it's between black and white, and so it's gray. So you can use that if you want, but I recommend to leave that for now and see if we need that for later. So one of the last thing I wanted to show you is the CV2 I am right. So do you remember in Opencv we used CV2 I am show to display an image or a video? But now we are not doing that, we are saving them into a computer, and that is possible with this library. So what do we have here? CV2 I am right, data drop, which is our path, plus the number of the digits from the matrix that we saw here. And notice that in your folder that I called img it has in fact 10 folders named 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on until 9. So it's important to remind that because we are going to see the folders later. So data drop plus the number of the digits plus the image underscore and then the curly brackets .png. So we are going to see next for the curly brackets. So we are just giving a names of this image. We're just giving like img underscore then a number. So now what are the two brackets for? These are in fact to put numbers in it. If you want to name your image underscore then 4. Then if you don't want to use that, if you want to use, for example, let's take another example. So if you are using a loop to save your images and you want to name, for example, like here, img underscore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, you need to have the curly brackets, then outside the quoting marks, dot formats, then put your number. So if you have 4i0 to 9, if you want to name your image img underscore curly brackets .png .formats I, it will be image underscore 0 to 9. So now in the formats, in our case, we'll be using I plus I, but I could have used big I and big J, but we'll keep it like that. I don't know why I didn't pay attention when I did this. So we'll have like the coordinates of the number in our grids. And then put a comma and put the name of the image, because of course you will need to specify a name you will need to specify which image you want to write on your computer. So now before I run this, let me show you the image. So now I'm here, I am in the C colon folder. Every Windows have that. And then here I have the img folder. Let's open it. And then you have the 10 folders. So now they are empty. So we can see I haven't put anything yet, but the Python program will do it for me. So if you want to do that, make sure that you have the same Sudoku grid. You don't copy a Sudoku grid and then take another one, like I can do a fold one, then scan another Sudoku grid, because otherwise it will be the mess in your folders, honestly. So now let's petite face the webcam. Okay, so that's our grid. And now we are going to, oops. And now we are going to see the image. So the 0, yeah, it has recorded an empty cell. Let's take the 5. Yes, it has recorded a 5. 8, we got the 9 as well. We got the 4. Yeah. So that was the end of this video. Thank you for watching this to the end. So next time we are going to start creating our model, starting creating a deep learning model, precisely. And don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and give it a like, and see you in the next video then.